This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story, the Suncoast began the day with a wind chill advisory. Temperatures are not expected to be out of the 50s until the weekend. ABC 7's Ray Collins checked on the local Salvation Army, which is seeing some extra business right now. Ray?
Yeah, they're trying to stay warm at the Army at both Sarasota and Manatee County right now, Scott. Major Chuck Whiten says 66 people came out of the cold and used their facility last night on 10th Street. Theirs is the main shelter in the northern half of Sarasota County. He says when the weather gets below 40 degrees, they waive the usual $12 nightly fee.
If it's a danger to folks to be out in the cold, then we do have the shelter operate as a cold weather shelter, which is different from normal operation, just in the fact that people can come in free of charge to escape the elements.
Well, we checked on the usual shelter in South County, but Grace United right now is not open at this time. As for Manatee County, Turning Points is open on 17th Avenue West in Bradenton, as well as the Salvation Army on 14th Street West right now. Scott?
Okay, Ray, thank you. Bone-chilling cold has gripped much of the nation, including the central United States, as 2018 opens, breaking century-old records there. ABC's Aaron Katersky shows us what people are experiencing across the country.
At least 2/3 of the country is bundled up, battling bone-chilling temperatures.
It's really, really cold.
From inches of ice in Washington state,
I've never seen anything like this, honestly.
To temperatures so frigid many schools in New England were forced to close.
Most of our children walk to school, the majority of them walk to school, and a lot of them are not prepared for this type of weather.
Even the Deep South can't escape, with emergency cold weather shelters popping up in Florida. The weather makes driving conditions dangerous. A whiteout in Michigan leads to this multi-car pileup.
Report of an SUV fully submerged.
In Indianapolis, a woman is rescued from the top of her car after it sank 10 feet into an icy pond. She's now in critical condition. And a police officer slips on a frozen highway in Texas and is nearly hit by an oncoming car. St. Paul, Minnesota, 10 people rushed to the hospital with carbon monoxide poisoning, believed to be caused by a faulty boiler. The bitter cold conditions make it nearly impossible to battle fires in Nebraska. Negative 10-degree temperatures instantly turn the spray into ice. Firefighters cope with frigid temperatures, struggling to control a 6-alarm fire in New York City and at a Chicago area indoor water park. And it's not over yet. The East Coast is bracing for another bout of Arctic air coming later this week, with snow and ice expected to hit as far south as Florida. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
Well, no snow here on the Suncoast, but we are talking about very chilly temperatures.
Yes.
And
could be snow in Florida.
Yeah.
Winter weather advisory is
Right.
up to the north of us, from Ocala north, where there's a possibility of seeing some snow on the ground. Maybe some accumulation.
It's the wind, though, that made it feel so chilly
Broody,
this morning.
brutish.
Yeah.
Really just absolutely bitter. I thought, especially when the winds were gusting up to around 25 or so. I mean, that really did put an edge on things. Temperatures have kind of climbed a little bit, so we're now looking at about a 50-degree air temperature. That feels that's okay. Still kind of breezy out there, though, and that does put an edge on things. But we did manage to break out into a little bit of sunshine for a while there, early enough that the wind chill advisory was allowed to expire an hour early. So that's good news. 24 hours ago, our temperature was 6 degrees warmer than it is right now. And in fact, this morning, when temperatures started off about 15 to 20 degrees below where they were 24 hours ago. So clearly, some very chilly air has filtered in. Sustained winds are still breezy enough that it's certainly uncomfortable. Wind speeds sustained at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, closer to 20 miles an hour in most locations across the region. We'll see the winds maybe subside just a little bit, but they're going to pick up again as well as an area of low pressure develops in all that cloud cover out in the Atlantic. That area of low pressure may help induce a few of those snow showers in North Florida. It'll also draw down more of the cold air so that, well, we're not done with things. Tomorrow morning, even though the wind speeds may be a little less, some of that drizzle that you see over on the other coast may actually be in our area tomorrow morning, giving a really cold rainfall or drizzle to the area as well. That's no fun, but that'll be around tomorrow. And the coldest day, Scott, maybe still to come. We'll talk about it in a minute.
All right, John, thank you. With the new year and holiday travelers making their way back home, AAA and local law enforcement stressing the importance of the Move Over law. Now, it's slow down and move over is the message for local law enforcement, and AAA stressing all month long for Florida's Move Over Law Awareness Month. Sarasota Police Sergeant Bruce King says last year more than a fifth of police deaths were due to vehicle-related crashes from people who were not moving over into another lane when an officer was responding to a call or issuing a citation. Sergeant King says the Move Over law applies to everywhere in the state, and not following the law could result in consequences you could regret.
Move Over law basically says if you see an emergency vehicle, might be a fire truck, police vehicle, on the side of the road with their lights activated, you need to move over to the next lane. It's a $136 ticket. It's 3 points on your driver's license. And more importantly, the consequence is, just imagine if you hit somebody.
King says if you can't move over, it's suggested to slow down to 20 miles below the speed limit. Now, if the speed limit is 25 miles an hour, though, the law requires you to drive 5 miles an hour. So keep heed all month long. Starting tomorrow, there will be a change to an intersection in Northport. The stop signs currently on East Price Boulevard will be moved to Raintree, Yorkshire. Traffic on Price will not be stopping at that intersection. City officials say the change will improve traffic flow in that area, and they're urging drivers to use caution when traveling in that area over the next couple of weeks while everybody adjusts to the change. Punta Gorda's new police chief beginning her new job today. Chief Pamela Davis comes from the Baltimore Police Department, where she worked as Director of Professional Development and Training. She replaces former Chief Tom Lewis, who was fired last summer. His dismissal came about a year after one of his officers accidentally shot and killed a woman during a citizens training exercise. That officer's manslaughter trial will begin later this year. High honors for those who keep us safe at Manatee County beaches. The Florida Beach Patrol Association naming Manatee County the Beach Patrol of the Year. The group has more than a dozen lifeguards, paramedics, EMTs, and rescue divers, and they keep about 3 million beach visitors safe each year. Still to come in your Suncoast News, new year, new you. Well, it may be harder to get back into exercising than you thought, but we're going to show you what you can do to get the ball rolling. 2018 means new laws across the country. We have a list ranging from the practical to the little bit wacky.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone.
Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
You can do something about a crime, any crime, and you can receive a reward of up to $3,000 cash. Call Crime Stoppers with information about criminal activity, unsolved crimes, drug dealers, fugitive criminals, stolen property, illegal weapons. Call 366-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Visit SarasotaCrimeStoppers.com. Download the Crime Stoppers P3 mobile app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Call Crime Stoppers 366-TIPS. Paid for by the Attorney General's Office, Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
For your plumbing, electrical or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
We got a 50-degree air temperature, a little bit of cloud cover out there, a little bit of sunshine as well. Dew point values are still pretty low at 40, and a northeast wind comes in at about 17. So across the region, temperatures are generally starting to warm a little bit where there's been a little bit more sunshine across central Florida. 51 degrees in Tampa, Orlando at 52, Fort Myers at 59 degrees. North of us, there's been a little bit more cloud cover and also some much colder air. We started the morning off in the low 20s in Pensacola, so some seriously cooler air up here. Some of that continues to sink southward underneath of the cloud cover, keeping us on the cool side again this afternoon. 54 degrees Wauchula, 58 in Arcadia, 59 in Punta Gorda, 55 degrees in Mayaca, 50 in Sarasota, Bradenton, 51 in Parrish, 54 in Venice, and Boca Grande coming in at 58. A lot of cloud cover around. We're going to see this cloud cover kind of persistent over the next 24 hours. We may have some little periods of sunshine, but cloud cover will be kind of a feature of our weather forecast over the next 24 hours. We have some northerly wind flow with a high pressure ridge to the north of us. We have an area of low pressure trying to develop out in the Atlantic waters that could kind of retrograde just a little bit and head a little closer to shoreline, swing back a trough of low pressure and help produce a little bit of snowfall to the north of us. That's a possibility. We'll see if that actually occurs. Certainly some scattered areas of drizzle and rain showers. We haven't seen much in the way of precip around our area. Maybe just a little bit of a mist or even some perhaps frozen particles, pellets, kind of suspended in the atmosphere just a little bit, giving it kind of a misty appearance. But otherwise, we're looking at pretty quiet conditions in terms of rainfall today. Tomorrow, different story. As that low pressure area down to the south begins to lift north a little closer to land, we have the potential of seeing, well, not only some rainfall across our region, but to the north of us, you'll see this area in pink get highlighted. That could be an area of frozen precip, which would be a real mess because we just don't have the equipment to deal with that up around Ocala, particularly up around Gainesville and south of Jacksonville, up toward Georgia. And another frontal boundary to the north of us will be swinging through here on Thursday. That will give us another reinforcing shot of cooler air and perhaps some of the coldest nights. Did you see that pink just fly right by there, moving up toward the Carolina coastline? That is what has caused a winter advisory up for parts of North Florida, different kinds of winter advisories up there. We'll see if that actually plays out. That would be kind of interesting if it did. The low pressure area eventually scoots out further away from the coastline, and as it does that, it takes the cloud cover with it, so that I think by the time we get to the day after tomorrow, we're going to have a whole lot more sunshine around, just not a lot of warmer weather quite yet because of that secondary cold front approaching. So cold and breezy, mostly cloudy but dry today, and then maybe a few scattered showers around tomorrow morning, giving it even kind of a raw feeling to the air tomorrow morning. Watch the Futurecast, put it into motion, and there it is right there, that little brief period. Perhaps accumulations on some of the grassy areas could be as much as a half an inch. That's not out of the question, certainly. We have an atmosphere where it's kind of saturated aloft, then it dries out, and when you get that dry condition just above the surface, well, you can sometimes get it to snow even if the air temperature at the surface is above freezing. That's a possibility. So we'll see how it plays out up there, but for us, no snow in the forecast. Northeast wind coming in at about 20 today, so small craft advisories up, as is a rip current advisory in case you wanted to go swimming today. Can't imagine that one. Breezy, cloudy, we'll go with 58 as a high. Tomorrow, good chance of seeing some scattered shower, maybe a light drizzle, something like that. That clears out, and then over the next several days we see more sunshine, but we still stay on the cool side. On Thursday into Friday, we get into those cold nighttime temperatures in the 30s. Some places may see some freezing temperatures in inland areas. Then we finally start to warm on Sunday back into the 70s. Scott?
All right, John, thank you so much. Well, it's easier to fall out of an exercise routine than to fall into one, right? But when you're ready to start up again, experts say it's easier to stick to it if you take the proper precautions beforehand, like getting an all clear from your physician first and starting at a low level to build endurance in order to educate your muscles.
You don't want to just rush into, okay, I'm going to go over to the bench press now and I'm going to do a set of 3 reps at as high a weight as I can lift. You're not going to recruit the muscles that you want. You're not going to have the neurological changes that you need to make that exercise more beneficial down the road.
The same rules apply for an athlete who is trying a new sport for the first time. He says just because you're a superb athlete in one sport doesn't mean that muscle memory will carry over to different activities. And this is the busiest time of year for personal trainers. Today is National Personal Trainer Awareness Day. And one of the most common New Year's resolutions is to lose weight and get fit. So for much of the month of January, gyms are usually packed. If you have a personal trainer, take some time today to show them appreciation for making your healthy resolutions a reality. Some positive news in health to start off 2018. Autism numbers appear to have stabilized. A new study from the Journal of the American Medical Association finds the rates may finally be leveling off. Researchers at the University of Iowa saying about 2% of American children have autism. This number stable over 3 years now without any significant increase in those rates of the condition. Now, autism is usually diagnosed in childhood. Kids may have difficulty communicating with others or understanding emotions, but today therapies exist that show promise in dealing with the issues. So if you're concerned your child might have autism, talk to your pediatrician. All right, let's get back over to the kitchen for the first time today and check in with our guest today, who is Chef John Ford from Jack Dusty. John, great to have you back in the kitchen. What are you preparing for us?
Good afternoon. It's great to be here. We're doing a lovely brunch dish, a bubble and squeak. It's a fun dish to be use a little leftovers and impress some people that are coming over to visit for brunch. So enjoy.
Everyone's buzzing about Suncoast View.
I like watching the Suncoast View.
I like the Suncoast View.
The cooking segments, I love the recipes. The theater segments are terrific.
Join Stephanie Roberts, Linda Carson, and Bobeth Yates for hot topics, everyday issues, celebrities, food, fashion, fitness, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits.
They're just fun.
For smart, fun talk in the afternoon, watch Suncoast View, weekdays at 4 on ABC 7. Tomorrow at 5 on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. The juror in the Jimmy McNear case that claimed he couldn't get a fair trial due to a racist jury is now set to appear in court.
We'll tell you what questions that she might face from McNear's defense team tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
Well, another shot of cooler air headed our way. Cloud cover around as well. We'll talk about that bright and early.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you. Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business. WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now. Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
Hundreds of new state laws went into effect yesterday as we start the new year. While many of them are no-brainers, others might appear to be downright wacky. Reporter Andy Rose has more.
At the beginning of every year, states add new laws to the books. While many of them range from no-brainers to the minute, others might seem downright wacky. Some states have implemented laws focused on how police interact with the public in 2018. Police officers in New Jersey that investigate sexual assaults are now required to get training to ensure that victims are not traumatized further. And a law in North Carolina that seems ripped from recent headlines. Drivers' handbooks there will now include guidance on how to deal with police during a traffic stop. In California, when applying for a new job, potential employers can no longer ask about your prior salary. This keeps them from being able to use your salary history as a hiring factor. Applicants can also now request a pay scale for the position. And employers in Vermont can no longer ask their workers to provide their social media accounts. So at least in that state, you may not have to worry about the tweet you sent in 2014 coming back to haunt you at work. If you're going through a divorce in Illinois and have pets, courts can now weigh in on custody agreements for the couple's fur kids. But the most highly anticipated legal change for 2018 is in California, where people over the age of 21 can now legally purchase marijuana without a medical card. I'm Andy Rose reporting.
John Ford in the kitchen with us today from Jack Dusty. Always a pleasure to have you here. Sir, Happy New Year.
Great to see you. Happy New Year as well to you,
Thank you.
All right.
Now, you're making Bubble and Squeak.
Yes.
Isn't that a traditional New Year's Day thing in England? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
maybe I made that up.
It was made very popular in England during the Second World War when rationing was a big deal. So the idea of it is you're using your holiday leftovers, right? Your mashed potato, your cabbage, your things like this, and making it into something beautiful. And that's what it's all about, being a chef.
There you go. That's right.
So since we're talking about brunch, since we're talking about lovely food, we're going to go ahead and start just with a little bit of champagne.
Hey, hey.
Because let's get started that way.
Oh, why not? And you're making mimosas here, obviously.
Absolutely.
Champagne and orange juice, popular treat on Sunday brunches.
So
and
cheers.
Cheers. Here's to you. A salud.
All right. So we'll go ahead and start with the main ingredient, our Bubble and Squeak. We have our mashed potatoes, right? A little bit leftover. We use Yukon potatoes because
they're very golden color.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Nice and creamy because of the starch content, a little bit lower on the starch content. So that's what you're going to do. We're going to put that in a bowl here.
Why is that helpful in making this dish?
What it is because it makes it creamier. A higher starch content is going to be crispier, and then a lower starch content, you're going to be able to emulsify more with those creams and butters, and it's just beautiful.
Never knew that.
So what I have here is some sweated vegetables. These are broccoli, cabbage, carrots, and a little bit of red cabbage as well. And what sweating is when you're sauteing something a little bit without browning it. So it's a little bit of a lower heat, and what that does, it brings out the flavor, it cooks it without making it bitter.
Butter or oil to sweat?
You can butter, oil, whatever you may choose. Sometimes butter, you could caramelize those milk solids a little bit.
Which you don't want to do, right?
Which you don't want to do.
Because you want to just get so kind of translucent, sort of, I guess.
Absolutely. Translucent is the word. A little bit opaque. So I have a couple already done here.
Okay.
So we made these into nice little patties.
Like little teeny hamburgers.
Exactly.
But not.
Little potato burgers.
There you go.
There you go. So we're going to put these in the pan, get those browning. Now the reason they call it Bubble Squeak is typically you'll do it a mix like this, kind of like in a big pot, and then as you're cooking it, the cabbage and the potato, it kind of bubbles a little bit, and you can actually hear it squeak.
So that's where
the name comes from. But again,
what fun.
So here we go. I put olive oil, again, just like I said, so you get a nice temperature on it without getting any milk solids that are burning the edges or sides. Okay. Okay, in the meantime, we're going to make a little salad to go with this.
Nice.
We have some arugula and a balsamic vinaigrette. Okay. Arugula is a nice bitter green to go with this. Alrighty. And
do you serve this on a brunch menu at the restaurant?
Well, we have it on our breakfast menu, and I definitely recommend it as a amazing brunch dish. You can serve all different types of eggs. It also goes great as a side component as well. If you'd want to do some type of roast or steak or anything, it's just a great it's a great dish overall. Now you can see the recipe too. I've submitted. We have it online. Also, it's not exactly like this recipe because
What's different?
Well, I can't give out all the secrets to it.
Okay, your secret ingredient over at Jack Dusty.
Absolutely. We have an amazing production chef, Chef Bettina, and she makes her own secret little recipe for these. She's been doing them for years. And
but this is going to be a perfectly serviceable Bubble Squeak recipe.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
So we're going to flip these here.
And how long do these usually take to cook? Because I'm guessing, because most of the ingredients in here are already pre-cooked, right?
Already cooked, so you're really just going to heat through, right? So it's going to be golden brown on each side, about 2.5 to 3 minutes on each side, and you're going to go ahead and heat that through.
In the restaurant, do you finish them in the oven, or do you just take them right off the saute pan?
We're able to just take them right off the saute pan.
Okay.
Yeah, just as a perfect heat like that.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And do you serve them hot with the salad?
We do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a nice chilled and warm balance mix there, and you get the crispiness from the salad, the creaminess from the potato, and then obviously whichever eggs you'd like to choose. Again, today we got a little poached egg, which is lovely.
Okay, so you served it with a poached egg on top.
Absolutely.
Now, is that's not necessarily traditional with a bubble and squeak, right? That's your own little thing that you've added to it.
That's Jack Dusty's take on it.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
So you kind of made kind of an Eggs Benedict kind of thing going on
little
there.
Eggs Benedict sort of thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Neat.
And then we have our
Any secrets for poaching eggs? That is oftentimes a kind of a tricky business.
Yes, so the poached egg, you always want to get your temperature just below simmering, so it's about a little under 180 degrees. You put a pinch or a splash of vinegar in there, and one of the tricks is that you swirl the water a little bit.
Okay, so you make like a little whirlpool kind
Absolutely. So what you're doing is as you crack your egg into your water, it swirls, and then it actually creates a bit of a nest around the egg with the egg whites.
Okay, cool.
And that's how you get those beautifully poached eggs.
Well, the final product is here. This is absolutely gorgeous. That looks delectable. And I want to remind everybody, I'm going to just set this up here. Maybe they'll be able to get a better shot of it if I set it right there. Remind everybody that the recipe for this is on our website, mysuncoast.com, and you can get all the video instructions from John himself here. Chef, thank you so very much. Absolute pleasure having you in here.
Sure, sir.
And have a great season over at the Ritz there.
We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
I can't tell you how many families just cannot afford health care, and the costs are rising. Just seeing that large amount of children uninsured suddenly would be devastating.
The Children's Health Insurance Program, it helps children of low-income families, but the funds are getting low. What does that mean? I'm Alan Cohn. We'll have you covered at the Trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment, and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Looking for something fun to do on a Friday night? Then come to Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Enjoy free live music, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Meet up with friends, enjoy activities for the kids, or make it a special date night. And be sure to stop by the ABC 7 booth and say hello. Mark your calendars for Music on Main, first Friday of the month, 6 to 9 at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by ABC 7 and these sponsors. Thanks to all of you who participated in ABC 7's Paris Vacation Giveaway Contest. Join us as we congratulate our grand prize winner, Heather Caston of Bradenton. She and her husband Clint are going on an amazing 6-night dream vacation for 2 to Paris, the most romantic city in the world.
Thank you, ABC 7, for going to Paris.
Congratulations, Heather and Clint. We hope you have the trip of your lives. ABC 7, we're here for you.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Live From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. We have new details about a powerboat crash that happened yesterday in Sarasota Bay. Florida Fish and Wildlife releasing the names of some of the victims. Matthew Rice was operating the boat at the time. Joshua Unger was one of the passengers. 2 others on board were children. All of them suffered non-life-threatening injuries in the mishap when that catamaran overturned in stormy weather late yesterday morning just south of the Rindling Bridge. For the second time in less than a week, New York City firefighters are at the scene of a large fire in the Bronx. Firefighters say 12 people are hurt, 1 seriously. They responded to the fire at a 4-story building near the Bronx Zoo at about 5:30 this morning. There are 12 apartments in the building, but the blaze appears to have started in a furniture store on the 1st floor, according to local news outlets. At least 150 firefighters battling that fire. It comes just days after the deadliest residential fire to hit New York City in at least a quarter of a century. A dozen people died after a fire swept through a Bronx apartment building. Flooding in some areas around downtown Sarasota has become a frequent hazard, and in some cases, Sarasota police have had to shut down stretches of roads like US 41 for safety reasons. City, county, and state officials have received many complaints about the problem. But the Bradenton Herald reporting potential fixes will not be cheap, quick, or easy. Sarasota County plans to launch a study of the overall storm water system along the city's bayfront in an effort to identify potential solutions. But construction for that project will not likely start for at least another 5 years. An incredible Coast Guard rescue caught on video. It happened Saturday in Panama City in the Florida Panhandle. Coast Guard members rescued an 89-year-old man whose car went into the water. Crew members had to break a car window to free the man from the vehicle. The driver was in stable condition, though, after that rescue. Those Coast Guardsmen in the right place at the right time, for sure.
Oh, how lucky for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're dealing with not only a cold day, but a cold week, really, huh?
Yes, colder weather actually to come. People want to know whether they should be covering their plants or whatever. I certainly have brought in my most sensitive plants that were in pots, and you may choose to do the same. Then as we head into Thursday night and Friday night, we'll be monitoring that pretty carefully to see whether or not we get close to the freezing mark anyway across the region. We'll certainly, I think, be in the 30s then as opposed to the 40s. So yeah, so we get these kind of spells every winter, or at least most winters, of 3, 4, 5 days of cooler temperatures, and that's what we're in now. 50 degrees the current air temperature. I doubt we get much above 57, 58 degrees for a daytime high, something like that. Despite the fact that we have a lot of cloud cover, we have had some sun poking through from time to time, but we got clouds coming at us kind of from 2 different directions. From the Atlantic coast, we're seeing these kind of lower hanging clouds coming in. They're also producing a little bit of light drizzle over on the other coast, and I think tomorrow morning we have a chance at seeing some of that drizzle across our region. Wind speeds might be a little less tomorrow morning, which certainly will be helpful, but then you'll have a cold rain as well. So I don't know, pick your poison, right? We're looking at daytime high today at around 3 p.m., coming in at around 58 degrees by 6 p.m. Clouds will linger, and we'll have a 53-degree temperature down into the 50s by around 9 p.m. And as I mentioned, tomorrow morning when you wake up, probably about a 40–50% chance of a little bit of drizzle or sprinkles around. Scott?
Okay, John, thank you. The Miss America pageant organization has a new leader, and it is a familiar face. Former Fox News anchor and Miss America 1989, Gretchen Carlson, been named the chairwoman of the organization, effective immediately. The announcement comes days after 3 board members resigned after a leak of derogatory emails from its former CEO and others. This is the first time a former winner has served as leader of that organization. One local Miss America affiliate is pleased with the change.
Well, Gretchen's already had an amazing career, so we love the fact that she's got such great experience and exposure in the entertainment industry, but also she is really relatable, and she, if you reach out to her, even on social media, she has been very receptive to people asking questions, and so she's not only had this great achievement, but she's also very accessible. She'll absolutely recognize the hard work that these girls go through year over year, but also really be able to build the organization up from within to empower those women to go on and do other great things as well.
In addition to Carlson's appointment, 3 other former Miss Americas were also added to the board of directors. Remember, for the latest in breaking news, plus up-to-date weather and traffic, just head online to the App Store and download the new News app. You can find it under My Suncoast or WWSB. The old app has expired, meaning iPhone users will need to download the new one. After 11 days at his Mar-a-Lago resort in South Florida, President Trump is back for his first full working day at the White House. The president already wading into international affairs as violent anti-government protests unfold in Iran for a sixth day. The president has thrown his support behind the protesters, saying it's time for change. He'll also have to deal with North Korea, as South Korea has offered to host high-level talks between the two countries. ABC's Arlette Saenz has the latest from Washington.
For a sixth day, violent protests are raging in Iran. Streets are consumed with burning buildings, cars on fire. At least 20 people have been killed in the clashes. The protests started Thursday over economic demands, but some are now calling for the regime's downfall. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is accusing his country's enemies of sparking the unrest. In a series of tweets, President Trump is slamming Iranian leadership and siding with the protesters. This morning tweeting, "The people of Iran are finally acting against the brutal and corrupt Iranian regime." The commander-in-chief is also reacting to an olive branch in North Korea. South Korea is now proposing high-level talks with the North ahead of the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. The overture came after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un offered to send a delegation to the Games. President Trump responded to the talks with a tweet. Perhaps that is good news, perhaps not. But the rogue leader's New Year's message also came with a warning to the U.S. Kim Jong-un claimed to have a nuclear button on his desk, ready to launch a strike that could reach the U.S. mainland. After months of fiery rhetoric,
"Little rocket man,"
the president simply responded,
"We'll see, we'll see."
If the talks between North Korea and South Korea do occur next week, it will mark the first formal dialogue between the two countries since 2015. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
Preparations are underway for next month's Winter Olympic Games in South Korea. The Winter Games always cold, of course, but this year's opening ceremony will likely be especially frigid. It's being held at an open-air stadium exposed to gale force winds at times. Meanwhile, South Korea proposes high-level talks, as you just heard, with North Korea as early as this week to let the North participate in the Olympics. South Korea's president says he sees the talks as a chance to ease tensions between the two nations. Senator Al Franken plans to officially resign from office today. A spokesman for the Minnesota Democrat announced last month that Franken would leave the Senate January 2nd. Franken announced his plans to resign in December after multiple women accused him of sexual harassment and other inappropriate behavior. His successor, Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith, will be sworn into office tomorrow. A special election will be held in November to serve out the final 2 years of Franken's term. Chicago police report the murder rate there declined by 16% last year. The city recorded 650 murders in 2017. That's down from 771 the previous year. Chicago has faced criticism for its high rate of gun violence, including from President Trump, who called the city a, quote, total disaster. Nearly 3,500 people were shot in Chicago last year, down from more than 4,300 in 2016. Police attribute the decline to more than 1,100 new police officers, changes in policy, and investments in technology like body cameras. Happening in Florida, Pinellas County family among the victims of a weekend charter plane crash in Costa Rica. A rabbi in St. Petersburg confirming the deaths of Doctors Mitchell and Leslie Weiss and their 2 teenage children. Mitchell was a radiologist and Leslie was a pediatrician. Both had practiced at Morton Plant Hospital in Clearwater for more than a decade. They were among 10 U.S. citizens and 2 Costa Rican crew members who died when their plane crashed shortly after takeoff. Security guards in Tampa fatally shoot 2 people at a club that was hosting the teen night. A Hillsborough County Sheriff's spokesman says a series of fights at the club prompted organizers to close the doors at about 10:30 last night. Deputies say while between 150 and 200 people were leaving the building, security guards said they first heard fireworks and then gunshots. As the guards searched for where those shots were coming from, they say they saw a person firing a gun from a car. Both returned fire, killing a 25-year-old man and a 15-year-old girl. A computer outage causes a headache for international travelers. The processing system for U.S. Customs went down for about 2 hours on New Year's Day, which created some very long lines. A spokeswoman for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection says a 2-hour delay forced officers to process arriving passengers using backup procedures at some airports. Many travelers said they missed their connecting flights. Some said no one at the airport was helping them and things were disorganized.
The kiosk machines shut down, so we couldn't get our passport pictures done. So then everybody had to go catalogs all the way over to this line, right? Then they opened up the line after we've been standing in line for an hour and let the people that just got off the flight in front of us to go through customs.
An agency spokeswoman says the disruption in processing did not affect the standards for security screening and is not believed to be malicious in nature. Still ahead in your Suncoast News, the best time to buy plane tickets is right now. We're going to have some of the best tips and tricks to saving money on your next trip.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in an accident, whether or not it's your fault, your insurance company might be responsible for some of your expenses. So give us a call. We've got your back.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Watch ABC7 wherever you are. Just search ABC7 on your streaming device to keep up with the Suncoast from the comfort of your couch. Download ABC7 now to watch us on TV anytime you want. ABC7, we're here for you wherever you are. Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 50-degree air temperature currently, mix of sun and clouds out there. Dew point is at 40, which is kind of dry, but earlier this morning was drier still. The dew point value this morning was in the 30s. And when you heat air that's in the 30s, you really do get almost desert-like quality to that heated air. So I'm sure a lot of people suffered from that this morning. You know, it does wreak havoc on some people with their sinuses and such. So humidified air, of course, being the solution to that one. But the dew points are rising just a little bit thanks to the more easterly component to the wind as opposed to a, excuse me, due north component to the wind. 17 mile an hour, still kind of breezy out there, and certainly does put an edge to the wind speeds. The gusts are even higher than that. 51 degrees in Tampa, Fort Myers at 59, Orlando at 52, but you don't have to go too much further north to find some really chilly air. 36 degrees in Tallahassee, 37 in Gainesville, 36 Panama City, 32 in Pensacola, where they started the morning off in the 20s. That northerly wind flow or northeasterly wind flow continues to draw down some of that cooler air underneath the cloud cover that we have. A little bit of sunshine that we get tends to heat that up a little bit, but it's still, it's tough. The sunshine is kind of doing battle with that northerly wind flow, so the temperatures are not going to rise all that much. The sunshine just can't help out that much, so you get a temperature that'll be a few degrees warmer than where we are right now. 55 degrees Mayaca, Venice at 57, Bradenton at 50, Parrish at 50, and 59 degrees in Northport. A lot of cloud cover around. The cloud cover will be kind of persistent. We'll look at an area of low pressure possibly developing here out in this area of the Atlantic in this cloud mass. And as that low pressure area develops pretty rapidly, I might add, it's going to lift to the north and maybe retrograde a little bit toward land, so that some of the showery activity that we see kind of ongoing from some of the cloud cover over on the other coast may actually end up on our coast as we head into tomorrow morning. Now, we have had some showers out in the Gulf waters, but they have fizzled out before making it closer to us. I think as the atmosphere continues to moisten at lower levels and mid levels underneath some of this cloud cover, we probably won't see these showers evaporate before hitting the ground tomorrow morning. So the rain chance is pretty good tomorrow for a little bit of drizzle, some patchy rainfall around. Most of the nation is quiet in terms of weather, but it is certainly frigid, Arctic frigid. And another cold front is located just to the north, coming down out of Canada, and that cold front will be visiting us as we head into Thursday. Thursday into Friday, I think, will be one of the coldest nights of the week. Thursday night and Friday night, actually, both of those are going to be very chilly with nighttime lows in the 30s. The low pressure area kind of lifts a little bit further to the north, and maybe even tomorrow with a little bit of luck or unluck, I guess, depending on your point of view, there may be some snow showers in parts of North Florida along the Florida-Georgia border. We'll see how that plays out, but that certainly could happen. So cold and breezy, mostly cloudy but dry today, and then a few scattered showers around tomorrow. The extended range forecast looks cold, and it is cold. We do have a small craft advisory up for our area waters. Winds will continue to be breezy throughout the afternoon. We'll look in the 7-day forecast for a daytime high of about 58 under breezy, cloudy conditions. Chance of rain coming into the picture tomorrow morning, about the same temperature tomorrow. Several days of a little bit more sunshine, but not much in the way of a warm-up until we get to about Sunday when we start to get back into the 70s. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. According to those who are not millennials, millennials tend to have a reputation for being lazy, entitled, and spoiled. So many people may be surprised to find out the generation actually plans to be very responsible with their tax returns this year. A survey from tax preparation company Jackson Hewitt found 43% of millennials who get refunds this year plan to use it to pay down debt accrued over the holidays. That's a higher rate than the general population, where only 31% of those polled plan to use that money to pay off the holiday debt. Germany is kicking off 2018 with new internet laws. Facebook, Twitter, and other social media companies can now be fined up to $60 million if they don't quickly remove content deemed to be hate speech or fake news. Some critics say it's an attack of freedom of speech, but a poll taken last year claims 70% of Germans favor this new law. Facebook is already hiring hundreds of people to help in this effort to stop any kind of incitement to hatred on Facebook. It appears flying in 2017 was relatively safe compared to previous years. The Aviation Safety Network reports there were 10 fatal commercial passenger and cargo air crashes last year. 44 passengers and crew members were killed. That's much lower than the 5-year average of 17 crashes with 495 deaths nationwide or worldwide. All of last year's plane deaths occurred either on cargo planes or smaller propeller-driven passenger aircraft. In addition, major U.S. airlines have not suffered a fatal crash since 2001, and there has not been a fatality aboard a U.S. carrier in nearly 9 years. And if you're considering a New Year's escape, now may be the time to buy some airline tickets. ABC's chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, has some tips on taking advantage of the best discounts out there right now.
If the post-holiday blues have you dreaming of that perfect winter getaway, the time to book a flight is now.
I think you're going to see a lot of deals through the month of January that will extend through the spring and right up into the edge of summer.
The cheapest dates to fly, January 9th through most of March. Tickets now discounted 16 to 36% below average prices. We found cross-country flights from New York to San Francisco on Virgin Airlines for just $119 each way. This trip on United, Chicago to Orlando, Florida, less than $150 round trip. Even international destinations on sale, like Providence to Dublin on Norwegian Air. One-way tickets now as low as $99. To find the best fares for you,
Hipmunk's great. I think Hopper's great. I think that Google Flights is really simple. You could sign up for like Travelzoo. That's my personal favorite.
Rebecca Jarvis reporting there. There's a tomato shortage throughout the country, and Hurricane Irma is partially to blame. That's according to the website Packer.com, which tracks the agriculture industry. A report shows shipments of Florida tomatoes were down more than 65% compared to the same time in 2016. Nationally, the drop was around 25%. If you're a lottery player, make sure you buy your tickets today. The Mega Millions jackpot for tonight's drawing now up to around $363 million. It's a huge amount of money, but the eye-popping numbers are more common than they used to be. Mega Millions made a change in October, giving you more numbers to choose from and making it harder to hit the jackpot. That makes it more likely for the grand total to roll into the next drawing. Powerball made a similar change in 2015, and those jackpots have been much higher as well. Still to come in your Suncoast News, Logan Paul, known for his funny videos on YouTube, today getting a lot of backlash online, why he's apologizing to his viewers when we come back.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining. Everyone's buzzing about Suncoast View.
I like watching the Suncoast View.
I like the Suncoast View.
The cooking segments, I love the recipes. The theater segments are terrific.
Join Stephanie Roberts, Linda Carson, and Bobeth Yates for hot topics, everyday issues, celebrities, food, fashion, fitness, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits.
They're just fun.
For smart, fun talk in the afternoon, watch Suncoast View, weekdays at 4 on ABC7.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
When I think of kids going to school hungry, hunger, homelessness, in this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
A popular YouTube personality is apologizing for posting videos showing an apparent suicide victim in Japan. The video showed Logan Paul and his friends at a place known as the Suicide Forest due to the high number of suicides that take place there. In the clip, Paul and his group come upon what appears to be a suicide victim hanging from a tree. The group then reacts to what they see. Critics blasted the video for being tasteless and offensive, and Paul pulled it from his YouTube page. Paul later apologized, saying his original intent was to raise awareness for suicide and suicide prevention. Reese Witherspoon, Shonda Rhimes, and Jennifer Aniston among hundreds of Hollywood women who have formed an anti-harassment coalition called Time's Up. The initiative was launched with an open letter vowing support for women in the entertainment business and beyond, from janitors to healthcare workers. Time's Up will include a legal defense fund and will advocate for legislation combating workplace harassment. Dozens of men have faced harassment and assault allegations in recent months, including Harvey Weinstein, Charlie Rose, and actor Kevin Spacey. NBC has found its permanent replacement for Matt Lauer on the Today Show. Hoda Kotb, who's hosted the 4th hour of Today with Kathy Lee Gifford since 2008, now adds the first 2 hours of the show to her day. The promotion means Kotb and Savannah Guthrie will co-host the first 2 hours of Today. NBC News President Andy Lack says that Guthrie and Kotb have what he calls an undeniable connection with each other and the viewers, because their ratings have been very good since Lauer left the show.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been kind of phenomenal, which is surprising because you can see how people were tuning in initially after the issue, but it keeps going.
Thank you so much for being with us today. Stay warm, and we'll hope to see you again at 5 o'clock.